In Wall of Gaia, there's a great wasteland on the eastern continent. When traveler walk across this wasteland, he might notice that something is in horizon, great mountain. But when traveler get closer, he noticed this mountain is man-made. Great mountain of steel, concrete, and mako. City of the broken dreams. Midgar. People all over the continent and even farther come here in this city looking for better life. And some do found it. This city offers a protection against the monsters and the elements of the wilderness. But it has a price. That price might be lifeblood of the planet itself. But if you want to live here, you bow your head. You don't say nothing. Because Sinra, the power company that rules over here, offers you a protection and safety. But in return, you are quiet and accept its rule. But even here, at the seat of Sinra's power, there's always something at the fringes. When you go down from the top side to Undercity, and even under that, you go the great sewer network that has been built to take care of all the waste of Midgar. Then you noticed there's something down there. That darkness sometimes looks back. Sahagins are humanoid creatures that live the vast sewer network of Midgar. They are quite territorial creatures and don't take kindly of anyone who comes near their territory. They are size of a full-grown man, though their hunched form make it seem less. They have strong limbs and body, 5 fingers in each hand, and 3 toes on their feet. They also have spurs on their feet. We don't know are these spurs poisoned, but it would not be out of possibility. They have a tail, long neck, and a shell that protects their body, particularly on their back. This strong shell on the backside must have been useful some point of their evolution as protection. That is now one of the Sahagins' most distinguishing features. Perhaps it is protection from the predator that attacks from the behind. But we are then left to wonder, what kind of predator could bring Sahagin down? Shell might also be a protection, something from the surface, when Sahagins hunt from the underwater. When threat or prey strikes on the water when it notices something there, strike might hit on the shell. We know that Sahagins are aquatic creatures and can be in the water for a long time and surprise their prey from there, or run there if something threatens them in the dry land. They can walk on the land as well, but not as good as humans. In the darkness, the Sahagins' senses have adapted. Their eyes can see in the dim light. Their tongues are usually out. We know that some reptiles can taste air, so we can assume that they taste air as well. That is the one way to notice that somebody is nearby, either friend threat or prey. They can jump on the great distances. Some say that their leap is equal to Sinra's super soldiers. When full-grown Sahagin comes down to you above, that attack would bring most people down instantly. Getting close range fight against Sahagin is not a fight that most people would win. Even worse, there's a spell that Sahagins use naturally that is quite effective one to weaken the foe that might be dangerous. Salientian Curse. There are many tales about frog and princess, how prince have turned into frog, and only kiss from the fair maiden could bring him back to his normal self. Salientian Curse is the one that turns one into toad, at least for a while. Most likely it's a powerful illusion that makes its target less likely to fight back effectively. Victims of this spell see itself as a small frog. Fighting back under this spell is almost impossible. We don't know how this spell come to be. Is it some kind of cruel joke of the planet? Or did the ancient made it? Or is this spell something else from the war beast that poem Lovelace describes? There are few other creatures who can use this kind of spell or ability to weaken its prey. One of them is the dreaded Marlborough. But that will be tale for another day. Counter of this spell is an item called the Maiden Kiss. Using it will break the spell and victim regains its own form again without being struck down or killed. Using a cleaning material is also effective counter it. But if you don't have either, you better pray that the spell lost its effect before Sahagin gets near. Sahagins can be seen with other creatures, like the scissor claw, large crustaceans that dwell in the sewers. These creatures feed the dead bodies that was down in the sewers. And also the bluegu, quite fish-like creatures that can also live on the land. There are also incident that were rats and other creatures move near the Sahagins. We can assume that Sahagins use these creatures as pets, guards, and livestock. Are not animals. They are quite intelligent creatures, and they use weapons, usually spears, harpoons, and lances, what they use quite efficiently. Some of these weapons are barbed, so when it impales the target, barbs of the weapon stuck in the flesh of the prey and keep the weapon there. Then they track their victims underwater. And some of these weapons are quite decorated. This is a sign of higher culture. They have time and skill to decorate their weapons. Sahagins have a power hierarchy. They have a leader. This leader, so-called prince, is a lot more stronger, with visible claws, its hands and feet, different kind of shell. It also have more visible walls between its fingers. We can assume it swings a lot faster with those. We can also assume that might makes right in this society. Prince might be older than normal Sahagins, or some kind of different version or subspecies. Sahagins have their own language. Even their mouths and vocal cords are more likely very different than humans, but they are able to communicate with other species, at least in some manner. There is a rumor that they have made a deal with Don Cornell of Wall Market, that somehow Cornell and the prince did meet and did make a deal. Now Sahagins guard some of the Cornell's treasures and fortunes. What did Cornell promise to these creatures to get this favor? We can only guess. But what Sahagins want? Long time they have just eaten scraps that had fallen from the table of humans. They live in the darkness, staying away from the eyes the more powerful, making deals with someone else to stay hidden, living in waste and garbage, making homes or abandoned structures of greater civilization, hoping that more powerful don't notice them or consider them a threat. Maybe they are just waiting, knowing that like all powers in the world, Shinra will one day will fall. Perhaps they wait a day when Shinra takes away from its troops, dogs, its mechs, and abandons Midgar. Maybe then they will return to surface and strike down and drive away the humans that have taken their place in the sun. Then maybe they are the ones who rule these lands again.